Well, welcome to Hope Lutheran Church here online for our Noontime Devotional today. Very excited that you're here to just share a little bit of time for a devotional. And so actually today I want to start with a piece of music. And so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And this is Mr. Rogers' I Like You As You Are.
I wouldn't want to change you or even rearrange you, not by far. I like you, I-L-I-K-E-Y-O-U. I like you, yes I do. I like you, Y-O-U. I do. I like you as you are. Certainly do. I like you exactly.
So I just wanted to take a moment there. I actually started a podcast on Mr. Rogers just to combat some of the hateful things that we see online and that we are listening to and hearing, and some of the negativity. And I wanted to find something that was a little lighter, something that had a little bit of beauty in it. And so I started this podcast on Mr. Rogers, and they talked about Mr. Rogers' theology, and I was reminded that he was an ordained minister through the Presbyterian Church, that he studied at Pittsburgh Seminary, which is super cool. They made an analogy between his show and that being his congregation, and how diverse his congregation would be, with believers and non-believers alike being able to see his show. And they talked about this idea that Fred Rogers really never said God, and he never really said Jesus, but somehow he was able to minister in the way that pointed towards God, right? He was able to use songs like this song that I just showed you, I Like You As You Are, to reflect the love of God. How radical of a statement is it to say, I like you as you are? I wonder if we were to go into the bathroom, look into the mirror, and say those words into our own eyes, if we would truly believe it. I wonder if we were to go up to a stranger or even someone that we know and look them in the eyes and say, I like you as you are, if we would be able to hold that truth in our heart. You see, this is the truth that Mr. Rogers was trying to guide us to, trying to kind of push us to. And all of that, when we push far enough, it's actually the truth of Christ, right? And I don't think Mr. Rogers was ignorant to this idea or this fact. I think it was very intentional, that he didn't have to say God or say Jesus, some things that, for many people can be polarizing, or they can be kind of hurtful. Maybe they've been burnt by the church or burnt by church people, but rather than talking about it, he actually showed the love of Christ. And he did it for kids and adults alike, right? Even when I hear this song still, I'm reminded of the everlasting love of God. That radical statement that God looks into our eyes and says, I like you as you are. And I call you to find that same everlasting love in every single person and in yourself. And so as we start this week, as we start a new week, we're Monday, I wonder if we can look at each other this week and look at ourselves and hear the song Mr. Rogers was singing, I like you as you are. I wouldn't want to change you or even rearrange you. And we can feel the love of Christ, the love of a God that looks at us, full us, not some of us, and just says, well, I like part of you, but this part I'll look the other way. No, God looks directly into our hearts and our souls and our minds, and he says, I like you as you are. And he goes even further, I love you as you are. And you are accepted. Faults and shortcomings and failures and sin, all of it. I know all of it, and I still love you. What a powerful message. What a radical God we have that will love us even in our darkness, even in our sin, even in our shortcomings. And it's just so interesting that we have, certain guides. Maybe some people were even claiming he's kind of a saint in a certain way, like Mr. Rogers, right? To just guide us back to this message constantly, that we should be looking at each other in the best light, looking for the most beautiful parts of each other and just saying, I like you as you are. In that way, not only will we create the beautiful neighborhood that Mr. Rogers always talked about, but we will be building the kingdom of heaven, the ultimate goal for us here on earth, edifying our hearts and edifying the hearts of others. I hope that you have a great week, and I hope that song just gets stuck in your head, and I hope that you feel the love of Christ when you look into the mirror and you know that God loves you, God loves me, God loves everyone. In his holy name.